You being one of them, I don't know if you knew that or not.
Right.
Mean something, or just you nod and say that's great, a sign of where we got good players and that's the way it should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's preseason, so
Yeah.
haven't done anything yet. So, no, I'm definitely blessed to be part of that group. But you got to put it together on the field. So, it's an honor, but at the same time, we know what we got to do.
There's flags over there for the champions, and there's an M word over there for the last three.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that bother you? How much does that stick in your craw?
I'm not. I'm less focused about them, and I'm more focused on what we got going on as a team. Yeah. Too much. Yeah, way too much.
How excited were you just like leading up to it, and then once it came out?
Yeah, I mean the anticipation for it was crazy, and they met all expectations. I think EA did a great job with the game. That much is evident because me and none of my teammates can get off of it. So for some reason, it feels different than Madden. Just probably because we've been waiting for 10, 11 years for the last one. So I mean, it's just such a blessing to be part of the game and to be able to play it. It's really a dream come true.
Your player rating.
My player rating, I can't complain too much. It's the first installment. Hopefully, I can do my thing and get it bumped up a little bit.
Coach Day talks about blessed to play with so many talented teammates in the wide receiver room. Garrett Wilson's, your Crystal Laves, even Marvin last year. What does it mean to you to be able to suit up with some of those guys, or what do you have planned for this year? Kind of leave you stand when your last year.
Yeah, I mean, suiting up with some of those great talents, it means even more to me that I can all call them really close friends. You know what I mean? And being part of that room and leaving a legacy and leaving a mark on that room is something that I hold really dear to my heart. And I'm hoping I can put my best foot forward to do so this year.
Coach Day talked about the expectations that come every year and expecting to win every game. What have you learned in your time at Ohio State about kind of managing the expectations and pressure that maybe comes from the outside?
Yeah, I mean, well, the things that are happening, right now during this time frame are the same things that are happening every single year when we start a new year. Everybody's talking about Ohio State, all the all the hype around us, everything. So it's been the same all the years I've been here. So you kind of learn to manage it, like you're saying, and kind of just keep things within the building, play for the love of your brothers, and stay focused on what we got going on inside our own walls.
What about when you're get to a big game later in the year and it's tight, fourth quarter? How have you learned to kind of manage those situations?
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta rest in the fact that you did the training to prepare yourself for that moment. There's nothing extra that you're gonna do in those moments that you haven't done before. You know what I mean? You're not gonna make some spectacular play that you've never made before. You're not gonna run a 4-3 when really you run a 4-7. You know what I mean? You gotta trust the work that you put in and trust your teammates to do their job.
Emeka, you're from Seattle, Tacoma area.
Yeah.
You were around University of Washington. You know what a big rivalry it was with Oregon.
Yeah.
You know that's going to be a big game this year. When you saw that game scheduled and it's going to be at Eugene, what goes through your mind and how big of a game, and just looking forward to that?
Yeah, the first thing that goes through my mind is all the tickets I'm going to need for my family. Like, that's going to be crazy. I don't know how I'm going to come up with those, but just being able to play on the Pacific Northwest is a dream come true of mine, in front of friends and family who I've grown up around, in a great environment like Autzen. It's super exciting. I mean, I'm stoked for that game.
Emeka, I'm curious. Last year you had some high NFL draft grades during the year. You opted to come back. What went into that decision to come back for another year?
There was a lot that went into the decision. It was really, coming out of the last game after Missouri, I was really 50-50, and I didn't really know where I was going to go, but I just stayed prayerful about everything, and I really leaned on my Lord to give me guidance, to give me answers, and I felt like He gave me, the direction to be able to come back here for senior year. And it turns out a lot of my friends felt the same way, and here we are with a very veteran and senior team. So we're looking to do something great, much bigger than football, and yeah.
And with that, what does it mean to be in this wide receiver?
Kind of just be a big brother role model for them, and it's something I definitely don't take lightly because I know how much Garrett and Chris meant to me in Jackson. So I'm trying to be that for those guys, and it's. Yeah, I mean we talked a decent amount, but I was never really bugging him about draft stuff. We were just talking about, what friends would typically talk about. I know he's got enough on his plate, and I don't need to be, bugging him about everything. Plus, I know, it's not really like, I care to an extent, but like I'm not gonna pick his brain too much about the stuff he's got going on. I'm just, asking him what time he's done so we can get on the game or something like that. So.
There's been a lot of high praise for Brandon Davis. What do you see in him? Just let you know he's about to take that next step.
Yeah, the next step for him was being voted onto the leadership committee that we have within our own team, which is a player-voted thing. So it shows that the guys on the team are seeing some leadership skills out of him, and his ability to step up into a role that we need him. Because while I feel comfortable in my leadership role with the wide receivers, there's some young guys he can bring along too. And so Brandon has done a phenomenal job all offseason. He's been rehabbing a ton from his little injury that he had going on, but he's doing really well for himself.
Coach Day said you can feel Brandon when he's out there on the field, just sort of kind of left it generally at that. How would you describe the impact he makes on you guys when he's healthy and able to play?
Yeah, I think that accurately describes it. I mean, he's a huge energy source. He's always very hyped, brings the juice on every play, and he's a super high effort guy, 110% on every single play he's in. So I think that's kind of what Coach Day is alluding to.
What have you worked on with your hands?
Kind of just playing bigger, stronger, faster, getting my body healthy, obviously, from the little hiccups that I had last year, and just being someone who can be explosive, go up and make those 50-50 plays, turn those hitches into touchdowns, and become a stout blocker on the perimeter.
You guys have a talented quarterback room. I guess just how important is it for you to build a relationship with all those guys, not knowing who may be out there for the first snap?
Yeah, unintentionally, I've gotten really close with all of them. They're all such great guys, and they're easy to be around. So whether it's we're golfing or we're throwing on the weekends or we're playing video games, like all those guys are really close friends of mine.
As you look to take your game to the next level, I'm curious, whether in college or in pro, where's some of the guys that you try and watch and follow the game?
Yeah, I love a lot of talent throughout the league. Like I watch everybody, Devontae Adams, I watch Mike Evans, I watch everybody, because like I know a lot of people like to watch like-bodied people. I like to watch everyone just because I feel like I can take bits and pieces from everyone's game. So while I may not be able to run like Tyreek, I try to look at the plays where maybe he's not using his speed to his advantage and how he can use his body leverage and all that type of stuff, because when it comes to guys like Tyreek, obviously he's very blessed when it comes to the physical aspect, but he's put in a ton of work, and people don't know how truly great of a route runner he is also. So.
What do you make of just all the chatter around Jeremiah Smith since he's come in, and everything we've seen on social media? How's he handling that, and how are you guys handling that as teammates? Are you poking at him at all about it? Or?
Well, if you talk to Jeremiah, you wouldn't even know. He was, he's very about his business, very professional kid. I think that's what's most impressive about him, because he's the prototypical wide receiver that you would want. But he's mature beyond his years, and you don't really have to get on him too much. He's going to work. He's going to keep himself humble, and that's what I love about him.
Are there things that we didn't see on social media that just made your jaw drop as well? And some things practice or workouts is awesome? Well,
the workouts that we have are never, for social media. You guys are only there for practice. So he's a really strong kid, which is, his body is developing, and he's just making leaps and bounds every single week when it comes to improving his body and is, getting bigger, stronger, faster. So he's really taking the training to heart that Coach Mick has provided us.
You talk about managing expectations. This group of 12 of you guys coming back, having this group of leaders, how does that help these younger guys kind of going in with such high expectations this year?
Yeah, you can kind of see how we're able to handle the pressure, and the young guys can kind of feed off of that, because it's easy to, go up when people are talking good about you, and come down when things may not go your way. It's kind of easy to ride that little roller coaster that you have, but being able to manage the expectations is something that you learn throughout your experience in college. So we're trying to pass that on to the young guys.
Do you think the expectations that are being thrown out are accurate? Obviously, there's goals you guys have with the team.
Yeah, they're the same expectations that people throw out every year when it comes to Ohio State. Every year, people say, "Oh, natty inbound," all this type of stuff. So it's just more of the same. So we try not to let it get to our heads. We try to stay down and keep working and recognize that you got to put everything together when it comes to it on the field.
Back in 2021, when you and Marv were freshmen, Chris and Garrett and Jackson were talking about how you guys, they're better than we are.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be better. Obviously, you guys have to go out and do it
Mm-hmm.
and live up to that. Last year, Marv was talking a lot of stuff about Darnell Tate, how good he can be.
Mm-hmm.
Is it helpful for Jeremiah to hear that stuff? I mean, he's gone through his first summer now. He's settled in. Is it helpful to hear that? Is it motivating as a young guy who's hearing it yourself? Or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, I can't speak for Jeremiah, but I know, when Chris and Garrett and Jackson would hype me up, I mean, that just gave me such tremendous confidence, and their ability to uplift me did more than they even knew at the time. So we try to instill that confidence in the guys and let them know that, like, even though, like, college is hard, like, you go through times where you have doubts and you're like, am I cut out for this? Can I do this? And just receiving that confidence from someone is not lying to you and is and you have stood side by side and put the work in with is really encouraging. So we try to do that for the younger guys, and let them know they're in the right spot and they're doing everything the right way. They just got to continue at it.
What stood out to you about
Yeah, he hasn't been here too long, but he's kind of a quiet kid, goes about his business. So he's one who's he came in and you didn't really know what he's thinking because he was so quiet, but he's taking the work to heart. It's not one ear and out the other with him. It's in one ear and he goes to work. So.
Because Denzel has been Denzel the way he is, unfiltered, just willing to say whatever. From the time you met him, is how you see him grow.
Yeah, he's absolutely been the same since I met him. I think that you accurately described him. Not really too much of a filter, says what's on his mind, but that's what you love about him. So.
What's it been like to kind of see him help her score?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's really been a backbone of the defense, and I think he's kind of taught a lot of guys just what it takes to be an elite player when it comes to his preparation, his film study, his extracurricular work, like when he comes back and extra hours working on his feet, all that type of stuff. He's kind of been a role model for a lot of guys. Yeah, when Caleb came in, you would think he would have been here for years. Like, he fit in perfectly with everybody. And when it comes to on the field, he's as advertised. He's a great player. He can play zone, he can tackle, he can play man, he can do it all that you would want at a free safety position.
What's studying about Will Howard and kind of what gives you confidence that he could be a guy that could succeed, at Ohio State?
Yeah. What I like about Will is that, he's a fifth year. He's a vet guy. He's played a lot of football, got a lot of football under his belt. He's coming from a really different program and a really different offense in Kansas State, and now transferring to Ohio State. And he's took the coaching and he's kind of ran with it. And he's developed at a rapid rate. Like, you see him get better and better each practice, which is really encouraging to see.
How have you seen Will
being the oldest guy, the leader in that room? What has that been like, just kind of going from yourself now, and how you feel like the young guys are kind of around you?
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of allowed me to be a leader that they can listen to, and they kind of take my coaching and everything that I try to do, and they've kind of instilled it, which gives me a lot of encouragement to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm just honored and blessed to be in a position to be able to do that. Yeah, I've always felt like I was a natural born leader. That was always something that I really tried to do whenever I was in a situation to do so. But just being at Ohio State has really helped me hone those skills and just kind of be a leader who carries the water. Who doesn't just talk the talk, but also walks the walk.
You guys obviously have not shy away from college. To get there, you have full camp, you got non-conference, you got some games that maybe aren't going to generate the hype that scores in the league. How do you ride through that to get to the final without too much up and down?
Yeah, you got a lot of football to play before November comes, before the 12-team playoff comes, before all these things come. So the main thing is just staying within your circle, staying within the guys in the building, not letting the outside noise make too much noise in your ear. And one of the main practical things is taking care of your body. It's a longer season with this 12-team playoff, so we got to really be on top of that as well.
that mentally something that's not a drop off.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oregon game obviously.
Right.
Play active.
Oh, yeah.
You make those games that you take your minds, but there's not a drop off.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the later games in the season aren't going to mean as much if we drop one to Akron, so, yeah.
Question on wide receiver. What's it like, the history? I mean, here you are, wide receiver at Ohio State. Great history. I remember talking to Marvin and his name's up, his dad's name's up there. What's it like for you to play wide receiver at Ohio State?
It's amazing. It's truly an honor and a blessing. I can't really say too much about it. It's just a dream come true.
Can you talk about the changes on offense?
Yeah, every year is a new year, and you kind of got to find your identity as a team. So that's something we're searching for, especially coming up in this fall camp. And with such an explosive duo out of the backfield, it's going to be hard for teams to stop that. And then that kind of opens things up for us on the outside. And with Coach Kelly's great mind, I have no doubt he's going to be able to use the tools that he has at his display. Yeah, I think it's gone smoothly just because of how much trust he has in Coach Kelly. They were, former coaches together, and I just feel like there's a tremendous trust there. So.
Jack was talking about the same transition from Brian giving play calling and Chip. He said it's like giving up your baby for a coach to do that. Can you appreciate how much of a sacrifice is the right word, but like when Brian gives a play calling, what do you think that signifies?
Yeah, I mean, if we use the analogy that you were talking about, giving up your baby, you got to fully trust the person who's going to hold it. You know what I mean? And the fact that he's able to do that with Coach Kelly really testifies to Coach Kelly's ability to handle our offense. So I think Buckeye fans have nothing to worry about coming up in the future.
What's your biggest impression of Chip Kelly to this point, Zach, now working with him?
Yeah, I spent a little time with him in my high school years when he was recruiting me at UCLA, and I didn't have the strongest impression of him at first because Coach Kelly's someone you kind of got to get to know. You got to get to know his mannerisms, all that type of stuff, because he's a unique character. But once I got to know him a little deeper, I mean, I love Coach Kelly. I'm so glad he's a part of what we're building here at Ohio State, and I think he's the perfect fit.
How do you see Will Power in the relationship with you and other members?
Yeah, I mean, Will's a very personable guy. When he first got here, it was like we've known him for years. I mean, he came in and he was best friends with everybody on the team. So whenever, Will's always hanging out with people, doing extracurricular activities. We're golfing on the weekends. We're doing all this type of stuff. So Will's just a blast to be around.
Why golf? Why is golf?